Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's call on the genius within, calling on your natural talents to make life more fulfilling. I'm Wendy Spurgeon. I'm the creator of the Way of Truth Sacred Journey Portal and your hostess for our full moon webinar. And I'm very excited to be speaking with you today. And supporting us on PowerPoint today is Shelly Chase, writer and life happiness coach. And she is so good at what she does. I just feel so happy when I am working with Shelly. And so it's just so thrilled to have Shelly as part of the team. And today we will be learning several key points about the natural talents we all possess and how we can go about identifying those talents and knowing when they are in use. This evening's training is broken down into several important sections that we will cover over the next 75 minutes. And in those sections, we'll look at what the term talent means and how our talents dramatically impact our daily lives, and what gets in the way of us expressing our talents, and what shift in perspective we will need in order to avoid this from happening. How to recognize our talents in action and how we feel and what we experience when our talents are being honored. And help you do some foundational work at identifying your unique talents. But before we jump in, we're just going to take a minute to review some guidelines so that we can ensure we have a successful experience here. On these webinars, please be respectful of others on the line and keep your background noise to a minimum. And it's always best in these trainings to be in a place where there is no noise, so you can focus on the discussion at hand. So please raise your hand to let me know if you have a question or to share your answers. I will call on you and unmute your line so we can hear you. And so if you need to, look around in your screen to where that place is that you can raise your hand. Familiarize yourself. And then when I unmute you, I will probably say your name, but also feel free to say your name before we speak. We always like to know who we're hearing from. And be participative. These classes are just much more valuable and fun when everybody gets into it and gets involved. So welcome. Holly is our special guest today. So thrilled to have you here, Holly, live for the training. And I know this is going to be a really good discussion for participants in the replay too here. So let's begin our discovery. Let's start our training by answering a simple yet very profound question. So now when I ask you this question, it takes some time to think about your answer. And if you get stuck, you just go with your gut. Okay, so here's the question. What does a great day look like for you? Now, in answering this question, think about the kinds of activities you would be doing that make this a great day. If you were able to spend the bulk of your day doing these activities, you would feel really happy. These aren't regular activities that make up your daily routine. So to really think about the things you like to do that meet the following criteria. Think about the activities in your life that you lose track of time while doing them, that make you excited just by thinking about them, where you feel energized when you do them, that you frequently dream about, where you find yourself performing beyond your usual ability when you're doing them, where your enthusiasm for them is high for a long period of time, and that you seek out other people who share this interest. So just take 2 minutes here and reflect and write down your answers to the question, what does a great day look like for you? And I'll give you 2 minutes. About 30 more seconds. All right, let's come back together. I'm thinking about these questions too. So, um, who, um, who would be willing to share the kinds of activities that you came up with? Holly or Shelley, I'll pop in too. And if you raise your hand, I'll call on you. Holly has raised her hand, and now I'm unmuting you. Hi, Holly.
Hi there. Uh, okay, so I actually did part of this today. Sun is shining. I'm on Bainbridge Island. The sun is shining, and that always makes for a really good day for me. Just have the sun out. But being able to dance, some form of dance, and I got to do that today, and it just I totally lose myself in the dance when I start, and time flies by. It's just fantastic for me. So I got to do that. Um, if it's all in one day, then I would come home. This is what I didn't do. I didn't do today because my dance class was in the middle of the day. Uh, but if it was earlier, I'd come home and then I'd start an art project in the store. Excuse me. That's pretty funny. That's like a Freudian slip there.
Yeah.
That Wendy might get. I used to have a store. I in the home where maybe I'd start sewing or I'd start painting or I'd doing some sort of thing in the house that would be transformational to it. And that always makes me feel so great when I can transform in a room or an environment in there, that I get lost in that. And if it's not a big project, just doing smaller art projects, um, just working with my hands and creating something that's my bliss.
Yeah.
And so, just specifically, I'd say that one point for my store, I created a line of cards that were made with handkerchiefs. And I sat down with an old vintage handkerchief and some card stock and just said, you just figure out how to make a card, how to put this on the card. And I was able to do that. So it makes me really happy.
Oh, thank you, Holly. And do I have a panelist with a hand up? How do I unmute? Oh, I can unmute you.
Uh,
There you go.
Hi.
Hi.
I could not see on the screen how to raise my hand.
Oh,
But for me, a great day is filled with just being able to inspire people and to help them creatively solve problems and move forward in their lives. And if everything else in the whole world is taken care of by somebody that I pay well to do that, then that's my perfect life right there.
yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Shelley. And oh yeah. Well, and I was thinking, um, in different chapters of my life, it's like, dance and theater becomes that all-consuming passion. Excuse me. And I've always kind of really been aware of what that genius within is, and it feels really good to be to have kind of tangible tools to teach about the genius within that kind of pushes us forward and propels us forward, and it's that driving energy. And it's been dance for me, it's been theater for me, music, sometimes currently like writing and producing these trainings and webinars. That's become just like this really creative thing that's been coming forth. So yeah, thank you for your shares, everyone. So as we've been talking about, there's a wide variety of activities. And obviously we find fulfillment in different ways. But even though people find fulfillment in different ways, our individual fulfillment only happens in one way. Fulfillment in our lives, plain and simple, happens when our talents are honored in the activities that we're doing. It's really that simple. Fulfillment happens. So right from the start, fulfillment happens when our talents are honored in the activities we're engaged in. So right from the start, I want to give you the most important message of this full moon webinar. And that message is this: expressing your talents in whatever you do is the key to your fulfillment in life. Take a moment and write down that key message. So to put it another way, our great days usually involve doing the things we love. And what we love usually involves the expression of our innate talents. We all have something special to offer the world. We all possess something that makes us unique. If a great day includes doing the things we love, or in other words, is the expression of our talents, so let's take some time to make sure we can answer the following question. What exactly is a talent? And to answer this question, I want to first read you a short story. So now take a moment now and just put down your pen and pencil and sit back in your chair, maybe close your eyes and just relax while you listen to the following story. Ready? The Rabbit Story. We want Mr. Bunny Rabbit to be a well-rounded animal. To be well-rounded, he will need to be skilled at running, swimming, and tree climbing. So we decide to measure his performance. First up, running. Here Mr. Rabbit shines. He ran to the top of the hill and back and scampered all about. And when asked about how he felt about his performance, Mr. Rabbit said he felt great. I can't believe it. He said, I get to do what I do best. Mr. Rabbit's boss acknowledges the fact that Mr. Rabbit has a talent for running. Next, Mr. Rabbit's skill at climbing trees is measured. A tree trunk is placed at a 30-degree angle, so he has a chance to succeed. Mr. Rabbit tries really hard, so hard his legs hurt. He only makes it a short distance up the trunk. Mr. Rabbit's boss makes note of Mr. Rabbit's failed attempt. We'll have to work on that piece of your performance, says the boss. The comment discourages Mr. Rabbit. Next, Mr. Rabbit's performance is measured in swimming. Mr. Rabbit approaches the test with a great deal of fear. He couldn't recall any rabbits ever having to swim. He expresses his concern to his boss. Wait, he says, I don't like to swim. Mr. Rabbit's boss responds, well, you may not like it now, but in time down the road, you'll come to realize what a good thing it is for you. With that, Mr. Rabbit's boss throws the tiny bunny into the water. In seconds, the bunny goes down. The only thing that comes to the surface is a few bubbles. Mr. Rabbit's boss sees this and pulls the soaked bunny out. The rabbit feels humiliated, but is glad that it is over. Mr. Rabbit's boss contemplates the situation for a few moments before coming to a conclusion. Mr. Rabbit, says the boss, you're just fine at running, and for that reason, I think you need to spend less time on that skill and more time on the other two. When Mr. Rabbit hears this, he throws up. This story is from a wonderful book called Soar with Your Strengths, written by Donald Clifton and Paula Nelson back in 1995. This was a groundbreaking book at the time where the authors suggested that if we want to achieve our absolute best in life, we need to focus on our talents rather than spending so much time trying to improve our weaknesses. So I want to open it up. How does this story relate to real life? Who'd like to share? I'll just unmute you both. There we go. Holly, you're unmuted.
So I have to say your reading is just totally fantastic.
I think it's a talent.
It's kind of a horrifying story.
It is. It is. I think, what they're trying to illustrate is how unnatural it is to try to squash our natural talents and try to force ourselves to be strong in areas that we're just not. And then if we are able to focus our energies towards our talents, that's what's going to bring us the most fulfillment in life and actually help us be the most successful in life, because we're not faltering in our directions. All the energy is going in a specific direction. That was my thinking about it.
Well, and just directly linking this with art, where in as far as working in careers and all that out there,
Yeah.
that doing anything in the arts has not been ever in our history has ever been something that has been financially rewarded or encouraged to go do. You know, it's
except for the days when they had patrons, that there was a time when the artists were valued, that they were recognized for the incredible contribution.
Yes.
But yeah, you're right, it's so rare. Artists are generally so discouraged from investing their talents, and they're told, get a real job, right? And I that personal experience for me as an actor, and there were so many people, well-meaning people, who tried to discourage me from becoming a professional actor. But look at me, I'm a natural, right? So it's that struggle, right, of trusting that call, trusting that that's the direction you should go when you have the resistance around you.
Yes. So when people don't look at it as being serious, when they look at it as it's an elective, and that's just because people have so much fun doing it, it can't possibly be a career.
Right. Exactly. Shelley, did you wanted to speak? Oh,
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I think that one of the things that rabbit story kind of alludes to without saying it is how, as women, we are always discouraged from showing our strengths, because that intimidates the powers that be.
So true. Yeah. And just getting back a little bit to the analogy of the animals, right? The different animals have different strengths. All animals possess certain innate talents and skills that help them to survive, and that make them unique. People are no different. We are all geniuses in our own way, right? So an artist is a kind of genius, a writer is a kind of genius, a mathematician is a kind of genius, and whatever that talent is, it's going to be unique to each of us. So we're all geniuses in our own way. So this is actually a really good time to pull out the worksheet. What is your genius? I've got mine right here. I'm going to do this exercise with us. And I'm going to give you just a quick presentation on this topic. And on the worksheet, you'll see that there's sentences that summarize the presentation I'm about to give. So, what we do is we fill in the blanks during the presentation. So here we go. What is your genius? Albert Einstein once said, "Everyone's a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid." So what is your genius? We are all capable of doing one thing better than any other person alive. Now, do you really think that statement is true? That you are unique and that you have something unique to offer to the world? Do you really believe that you can do one thing better than anyone else. Whether you believe it or not, it is true. We often spend so much of our lives judging ourselves by the wrong measures of success, such as money or job title. But aiming for these things will not give you the gratification that comes from doing work that fits with and expresses who you really are. If you spend your life trying to be good at everything, you'll probably be great at nothing. So asking yourself, what is my genius, is an important question we all need to ask and answer. Thank you. End of presentation. So what makes it difficult for us to believe that we really are geniuses? So I'm going to unmute you both, and if it sounds too squeaky, I'll unmute someone. So Holly, you're unmuted.
What's your question?
What makes it difficult for us to believe that we are really geniuses? Go ahead.
I'd say one thing, it would be fear of being egotistical. By saying that you're, because it's scary to me. I can tell you, just saying that kind of stuff, it's scary. That I would never want to say I'm the best at something. That scares me to even put that out there. It feels like the attack. Challenged.
Yeah. We have some triggers around it, right? Around our light. We've had these conversations before, so I'm just going to try to put it in a nutshell. But as children, we just so naturally would shine our light and show off what we're good at, and believe ourselves to be the very best because we're the best that we know about. And that would be okay because we were kids, right? And to really own and feel our greatness and our light. And then inevitably a teacher would say, no, settle down. Or someone would say, don't be too big for your britches. Or somebody would get jealous. And so we would begin to hide our light and not be that big and bright and genius. That's one thing, that comes up for me around claiming the genius within. You're right. It sounds so egotistical. But it's also because, for me, I think about, the people we call geniuses are Albert Einstein and, some of the well-known names of brilliant people who achieved great things and were given laud and praise, and they were elevated in status as geniuses. And so I think that's what a genius is. So I can't be a genius because I'm not that. But then it comes down to each one of us, our genius is unique. There is nobody who can be so very me than me, right? And nobody can be the amazing Holly that amazing Holly is, and Shelley, and so forth. And so it's it's a challenge to kind of reframe this, or work through those triggers or whatever, so that I don't get in my own way, because my own way is leading to service. So, I mean, that's kind of the end game in terms of like the intention of the energy of where, harnessing it so you can use it specifically, and not become an egomaniac. Yeah. Stay humble, stay grounded in that genius. Shelley, I'll just unmute you in case you had something that you wanted to share.
Well, for me, I think it's not so much being worried about being egotistical. It's more that society is so judgmental and so quick to pounce on our errors and our weaknesses that it's scary to try to put yourself out there.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, most of us, we don't see ourselves as geniuses because we really have never given much thought to what our talents are. I mean, some of us haven't. And at the same time, we let a lot of things get in the way of us expressing our talents. So it's important for us to identify what those barriers are that can get in the way of us expressing our talents so we can remove them. So now let's move to the worksheet, what gets in the way of us expressing our talents. And I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to write down what you believe are some of the biggest barriers that get in the way of our talents. Okay, about 30 seconds left. And let's come back. Oh, I got some good ones. Sort of surprised me. Holly, why don't you share what came up for you, and then we'll go from there. So I'll mute you first, Holly. Here you go.
Okay, I'm going to read my list because, yeah, it was amazing how fast I changed lanes. Fear of making a mistake, fear of judgment from others, fear of repercussions, like jealousy, other things coming from other people if I actually am succeeding.
Yeah.
The fear of actual failure within it, of thinking to do something that maybe it ends up that I can't do. And then I put in there, this is where I switched lanes. And I said, sometimes just plain laziness, you know,
Uh-huh.
like, okay, but then bam, fear of success
Yeah.
change if I did succeed at it, and fear of outgrowing other people around me. It's like the fear of actually excelling past other people. And I have to tell you, I'm experiencing some of that right now. And it's so funny where it's like, on the one hand, where I would be afraid of failing, and that would keep me from even starting something. But it turns out that I'm actually afraid of succeeding.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I just agreed with like so many of those because they were the same ones that came up for me. Thank you for that powerful share. Yeah, it's across the gamut. Fear of failing, but also fear of succeeding and what that would mean and how that would change things, and also laziness. I had that one too. Okay, thank you, Holly. I'm going to mute you. And Shelley, anything you'd like to add?
Well, that list of Holly's was almost word for word
Yeah.
with my own list. And then the other couple of additions were lack of self-esteem, lack of confidence, and that it's, quote, unrealistic or selfish to pursue your dreams when you have bills to pay, you know?
Oh, yeah, that one's really heavy, isn't it? That's like the whole culture crashing on you. Like, how dare you try to be so amazing and unique and create your own beautiful, powerful thing, you know, if you got bills to pay, how dare you? Oh, well, thank you. I shouldn't show off. Like, still now, like I worry about people thinking that I'm showing off, and that I'm not good enough. That's another reason. Like, you know, if I'm around other people who are really bright, sometimes I fall into that comparison, and I'm like, well, I'm not good enough. I shouldn't even try. I mean, so and so is so good. You know, why bother? Which is also a form of laziness in its own way. People will get mad at me. That's a big one. That's a big one I'm too big, I'm too bright, I'm too powerful, that people will get mad at me. And then what if I fail? I'll be embarrassed if I fail. Oh my God. The shame, the embarrassment. So, and then I was like, I had to go. So I had other ones that I had thought of, like laziness and stuff that I didn't write down because I was looking at the timer. But I think we captured just a wide gamut of reasons. The barriers, what gets in the way of us expressing our talents. So, you know, when we explore the reasons that our talents don't get expressed, one of the biggest reasons is because we have a tendency to focus on the negative things happening in our lives instead of the positive. Self-help expert Susan Jeffers once said, "We have been taught to believe that negative equals realistic and positive equals unrealistic. Unfortunately, we have grown up in a culture that focuses on what people are doing wrong rather than doing right." A recent research by the Gallup organization revealed that if a student came home with a report card that showed an A in one class and an F in the other, that 77% of parents focus on the F grade first. 7% focus on the A first. this isn't to say that parents should ignore the F, but why not start with a positive focus on the A before working on strategies for improving the F? Society has us focus on the negative instead of the positive. So, for example, think back to a performance review you received on the job. Didn't it feel like your weaknesses were being highlighted more than your strengths? The truth is that your weaknesses will only marginally improve, as was illustrated in the rabbit story earlier. That improvement, that will require a great deal of effort. But when it comes to our talents, we can experience exponential growth and improvement. So sure, developing our talents still takes effort, but it doesn't feel like effort. That's because when we are doing what we love to do, when we are using our talents, the results come more easily and naturally. The reality is that a person who has always struggled with numbers is unlikely to be a great accountant or statistician. And the person without natural empathy will struggle when dealing with an agitated customer or a distressed hospital patient. Each of us has the greatest potential for success when we express and use our talents. We experience fulfillment not by trying to strengthen our weaknesses, but instead by expressing and improving upon our talents. So now that you have a better sense of how important it is to focus on expressing your talents, it's time to identify what your talents are. And there's a very simple indicator to tell you when your unique talents are being used. And we're going to look at that indicator next. But before we begin that last segment, I have a special offer I'd like to share with you. As you know, we are in a great time of transformation. The old ways of living, being, and relating are shifting almost on the daily, affecting many aspects of our personal and collective experiences. One of the ways we experience this personally is in what we have believed to be true about what life is supposed to look at a certain age. What we are expected to have achieved is redefining and reorienting itself. It no longer is going to college, getting married, having kids and a white picket fence, working a 9-to-5 job, the 9-to-5 job, only to retire in some off in the distance time, the only way to have a happier, prosperous life. The privilege of this moment is that we have choice. We have opportunities to make decisions that are alternative or different from the status quo. And if you are like many women right now, one of the pulsing inspirations you have is to serve others. And like I am talking down to your bones desire to help others move out of suffering, create new possibilities for their lives, and offer a space where they can be completely welcomed for all that they are. But here's the catch. Sometimes you get stuck and you believe that maybe you are not worthy of actually showing up in real and intimate ways for others. Maybe you're not good enough and you get scared and you allow all the fears that you've ever been told or believed to freeze you for months or years. And so this deep yearning to heal, to mentor, to facilitate, and to expand in your leadership stalls. The fire in your belly that is present to fuel your service into form no longer is being tended, and it begins to fade. You lose your way and ignore your dreams. and you think that that the life you are meant to be living feels too far away, and you mistakenly believe that this can only happen for other people. But we need you, sister, desperately now. Your soul's destiny to help and serve others is truly a clarion call from the great mystery. The way this world has been set up has left many in an induced trauma response from abuse, violations, neglect, abandonment, and a lack of love. People are suffering and looking for answers, literally questing for you and for your gifts. And this may sound a little new agey or far-fetched, but it is absolutely the truth. So how will you step in to the part of you that longs to serve and help others in their healing, and that becomes your real life? And it just is a gentle reminder, being a coach, mentor, or facilitator for another's growth journey doesn't mean that you have to be perfect and have it all together. That is something that we as women get caught up on, that all of our wounds need to be healed. No. That is an outdated paradigm of leadership. All you need to do is be brave enough to show up, stand with love to what you believe is true, exactly as you are, with all of your life experiences and understandings, and model this to others. Your devotion becomes their invitation. I created the Way of Truth Sacred Journey Portal as a coaching membership site, similar to the gym membership model. Now, there is a free level of membership for folks who want to learn more about the benefits of coaching. And the free level of membership includes a monthly newsletter, access to your Sisterhood Awaits, our new moon web circle, the full moon webinar, like the one you're participating in right now, and one 15-minute laser coaching call with one of our coaches to test the waters of a coaching relationship and receive some support with your monthly goals. Now, I highly recommend that you forward the replay of this training to all of your friends and family that would benefit from this free level of membership. Simply ask them to send an email to breakthroughshadow@gmail.com with free membership in the subject line. And in the body of the email, ask them to share the top 3 areas of their life that they're ready to receive support around. But for those of you on this training right now, and for those of you watching this replay, I have created a new level of membership just for you. Introducing the Thriving Angels Journey. Congratulations, your path to a thriving life and mission are here. This is a place to discover the exciting truth of who you are and why you are here on the planet right now, and you're fully embracing your calling. If you are a survivor of domestic or workplace abuse or bullying, if you have sought support through 12-step codependency groups, if you have really struggled with the patriarchal, hierarchical model of the corporate world, if you've always wanted to be a healer, a facilitator, and make a bigger impact, if you feel trapped in a job or a relationship that just doesn't fit you anymore, if you feel isolated and unsupported in your dreams and goals, if you want to create a thriving life through service that you love, you're in the right place. The Thriving Angels Journey was designed just for you. Thriving Angels Journey, it is, with you, it is a sacred success collective that nurtures the healthy growth and abundance of your unique and vital mission on the planet. It's where you learn to trust and follow your personalized guidance system, and where you grow your financial, relational, and spiritual wealth and well-being, where you engage with new best friends and partners in your Sacred Success Collective, and receive a wealth of resources and opportunities, and finally turn the pain of your past into a source for profound service. So what's included in this monthly membership? Your journey to thriving is supported by 3 45-minute mentor calls per month with an amazing coach to support your self-accountability towards your goals, customized Sacred Success training courses offered at free and reduced rates by your Sacred Success Collective. You're going to be teaching each other. This is a leaders training leaders kind of experience, and you'll all be able to bring your gifts to the table and share them. Now, the really cool thing is 10% of your monthly membership fee is allocated to the Way of Truth Scholarship Fund. And this will be a giving well for those who might be struggling, and what would be keeping them from getting this support would be they just feel so scared about the money. A scholarship fund that we all pool into each month, we can also draw from when we need it. It's a community resource. And priority enrollment in the Angels on Fire Leadership Program. Now, why is this the ideal program for you? Okay, well, the Thriving Angels Journey is perfect for actors and artists and musicians and yoga instructors and Reiki practitioners and writers and speakers and trainers and teachers and photographers and coaches and therapists who long to take their mission to a greater level and make a bigger impact, but need a source of structure, inspiration, and guidance that fits their schedule and their budget. Your journey is flexible and customizable. Now, I really want you to hear this. You're in charge. You can cancel at any time for any reason or suspend your account. And you can keep everything that you have received, all of your Sacred Success tools to take with you on your journey. An inspiring community awaits you on the Pay It Forward group calls. And if you can't attend live, you automatically receive a recording of the call, plus bonus follow-up exercises to fuel your flame. Your coach prompts you to show up and follow through on the programs you've chosen to support you in reaching your goals. The Thriving Angels Journey equips you with the transformational tools for sacred success, leading you to the next phase, the Angels on Fire Leadership Program. I'm still working on that one, but what happens in the Thriving Angels group will really inform how to design that next level of membership. So now you may be wondering, how much is this going to cost you? Well, first of all, I'd love for you to consider that this is an investment rather than a cost. You see that you can expect a huge return in terms of your ability to create in your life by taking healthy risks that will pay off. And so that being said, how much is that ability worth to you? I mean, it'll change your whole life. Is it worth $10,000 a year? $5,000 a year? I'm only asking a fraction of that. $2,000 a year? Nope, today's your lucky day. For a recurring monthly payment of just $97, you receive access to your private coaching portal and customized support, and a life-changing shift in perspective when it comes to creating the life of your dreams. And that's less than you'd spend on a weekend getaway or a new laptop. And you're receiving the tools you need to make a mindset shift that has the potential to change your life as you step outside of your comfort zone and reach for your full potential. Plus, I am going to reduce your risk of investment even more by offering you a trial month membership of just $47. So you can try out all the services available for your first month at half price. And your Thriving Angels journey is designed to adjust and adapt to where you are and to grow with you, to challenge and support you and keep you engaged and expanding into your next level of greatness. So after your first trial month of $47, your membership will continue at the $97 a month rate until such time as you cancel your membership or graduate to the next level. So you cancel anytime for any reason, keep all your sacred success tools. And in honor of my eldest son, Sebastian, who is a writer and artist and teacher who turns 23 on May 11th, our May special is the Artist's Way at Work Pay It Forward course, Riding the Dragon. 12 Weeks to Creative Freedom is an online course designed to bring the artist's way into the workplace. So whether you want to bring more of your genius within and those natural talents to your 9-to-5 job, or you want to create your business from the foundation of your joy and natural gifts, Riding the Dragon, it blends cutting-edge ideas on creativity and group dynamics with the timeless values of integrity and simplicity to produce a powerful process that will assist you in whatever work you pursue. The result will be a heightened sense of adventure, excitement, creativity, and satisfaction. And not only in your business, but your life as a whole. Now, this course is regularly priced at $497, and it is yours free when you enroll in your $47 trial month of Thriving Angels Journey by 3 weeks from today, Saturday, May 11th, 2019. So you simply go to thewayoftruth.live/8s. Thank you so much. So now back to the training. Debbie Fields, founder and current spokesperson of Mrs. Fields Cookies and the author of several cookbooks, once said, "What I wanted was to be allowed to do the thing in the world that I did best, which I believed then and believe now is the greatest privilege there is. And when I did this, success found me. Discovering your talents is critical to your success. But how can you recognize them and know when you are using them?" And let's do a simple activity to illustrate the point. So let's pull out the worksheet, dominant, non-dominant hand. And yeah, that's what you're going to do. Use your dominant hand to write your name 5 times in a row. Okay, now I'm going to switch. Yeah, so when you're done, move to the other column and write your name 5 times with your non-dominant hand. Oh boy, okay, it's going to take a while. Put the script down. I can do it. I can do it. Okay. All right. I'm finished. Okay. I think we should all be finished with that, even if we're not. So let's be finished with that. So, so now we want to share, what was it like to write your name with your dominant hand? So it's easy, right? You know, when we're writing with our dominant hand, it's fast, it's smooth, it's by rote, it's in our muscle memory. But what was it like for you to write with your non-dominant hand? For me, it was painful. How about you guys? What came up for you in that exercise?
Well, for me, I have beautiful handwriting and I get complimented on it all the time. And the second column of my page looks like a kindergartner.
Oh, yeah. I'll show you mine. Let me put it up to the camera. Can you guys see that?
No, can't really see it.
Okay. But yeah, it looks, yeah. It took forever. And actually, I got to a point where I didn't even try to do cursive anymore. I was just like, can I even print with my non-dominant hand and have it look anything like what the letter's supposed to look like? It was like, wow. How about you, Holly?
Well, it was fun to listen to you laugh because I was laughing as well. But I could really see my handwriting from when I was learning to write when I was in first grade. So I wrote my whole maiden name out. I wrote my name exactly. I wrote by the fifth one, or it's the sixth one. I wrote a sixth one, and I wrote my whole name with my middle name in there.
Uh-huh.
But I had to write it really large.
Right. Yeah. It's what is this activity? I'm going to go ahead and mute you, Holly. What does this activity reveal about using our talents? You know, our talents are like the hand with which we naturally write. They help us to do a task in an efficient way and with acceptable and often extraordinary results. And we don't have to think or concentrate nearly as much when we're using our talents because it feels almost second nature to us. And our talents help us produce consistently higher quality results from the effort we expend. And we know what results we can expect from that effort. So, you know, when we are successful doing an activity, we feel a sense of strength. And a primary way to identify your talents is to focus on how you feel when you are doing a particular activity. Specifically, if you feel good, if you feel a sense of strength, you can be sure that you are using your talents. As the handwriting activity revealed, your effort and the results of that effort will make you feel a certain way. You will either feel good and confident, strong from doing an activity, or you will feel less confident, less assured, weak from doing an activity. So going forward, pay attention to how various activities make you feel. If you feel strength, know that there is a talent in use, and stop in that moment to identify what the talent is. It's our responsibility to find out what our true talents are and express them. When our talents are being used, we feel strong. And I have a tool you can use to help you identify your possible talents. So let's explore that now. Testing for talents. As I said, when we are using our talents, we feel strong. It's in those moments, it's like we possess hidden reserves of strength we didn't even know we had. So working backwards from a place of feeling strong, let's see what talents we can identify in the activities we do. So now let's pull out the worksheet talent testing, or testing for talents, worksheet number 4. And with this activity, you will identify an activity you do in your life. And this activity must meet the criteria listed on the worksheet. You will describe what you love about this activity, and then you will assess how strong the activity makes you feel. And then you will identify the possible talents at work in your chosen activity. And I'm actually going to give us 5 minutes to complete this worksheet because it's pretty in-depth. And I'll let you know when we've got 1 minute remaining. So ready, set, go. And we got about a minute left. Okay, let's come back. I know I'm not complete, um, but I would like to share what came up for me and what I think will come up when I complete the rest of it. There was this whole other part on the back. So I'll share and then I'll open up the line. Take a sip here. Okay. So as I went through all the bullet points of, think of an activity in your life that meets most of the following criteria. The one that kept coming back was acting, which makes sense. That was just, I was such a, just so obsessed with being an actor and everything acting. And there was one of them that was, I find myself thinking about this activity almost every day. And it was like, but not quite in the way of what show can I audition for next? Not necessarily in that way, but how can I, and what it came down to was describe what is it about this activity that you love? I love that my storytelling abilities help people relax and let go and open to new possibilities. So that's what I love about it. I love being able to use my voice and my expressions and these natural talents and skills and use them in service to those that I'm talking to, whether it's an audience in a play or if it's in a classroom like this, reading, Mr. Bunny story, whatever it is. It's a way to help people relax and let go and open up for the learning. And that's what I love about it, is that connection and that energy in the communication. And mark the degree to which you feel strong and confident when doing this activity. I feel super incredibly strong. I went to monologue night last night, and I brushed off an old Shakespeare monologue, and I killed it, and everybody loved it, and it was like, oh yeah, I love it. I love acting, and I'm good at it, and I created a powerful experience for that audience with that monologue, and that's of service. That's something unique that only I can do in the way that I do it. And then on the backside worksheet for testing for talents, it says next, with a highlighter, go through the following list of talents and highlight those talents you feel are operating within that chosen activity that you love. Well, just so many of them. I mean, like, just so many of them I could check. So when I complete this later, when I go back through, number 6, when done, go back and reconsider each talent you have highlighted and ask yourself which of these talents you especially feel you possess to a great degree. Write a yes next to those talents. That would take me some time. And then 7 was, next, ask yourself whether any of those talents you've highlighted above are currently being underutilized right now in your life and therefore make you feel incomplete. Place an X next to those talents and think about what in your life might be keeping you from expressing these talents to the fullest. So I can see the potential here to use this with my coaching clients to really, begin to uncover what, some of those core wounds, or, times that we shut our light down because of, there could be real healing that comes from using this resource. So I'm going to go ahead and be complete with that for now. And I'm going to unmute you, Holly, first to see what came up for you.
Okay. Well, first I had an argument with myself what I was going to put down. Because, of course, I wanted to put down dance, but I thought, no, it's not really what I want to write about. So I can't even, I put interior decorating with art. I'm a decorative painter, and but to say I'm a decorative painter, if that's all I was doing was just doing painting, like, because I can do full marble, and I'm always interested in different things. That's not what it is that really turns me on. What really turns me on is the changing a space. And I want to write down what it is that I love that it is creation, that taking a room and changing the feel of it. I like the search, the planning, everything that it takes to be able to, the execution, all of it. I like that it's that it's unpredictable and it's sort of alive, that it's really fluid and it's like spiritual in nature, how I think it's going to turn out and what's going to happen, the journey, it always changes. Because the other part about why it really makes me feel so good is I have, as I've been doing this, I do it with hand-me-down things. I do it with junk or throwaway. That my house has been really painted probably 80% with mist tints, where I have mixed paint myself. And so I utilize things that maybe are going to end up going to the landfill. And like on my bed right now, the skirt of it is actually, it's a California King, and I'm using old twin bed skirts. So I just have a way with my hands of being able to take things, and it's like the mother of invention is, what is that saying?
Yeah, necessity is the mother of invention.
Thank you very much. So that is where I go on fire. And it's when I don't have what it is that I need, but I can't see that I have what I need, that it's actually around me. And if I just wait, it's absolutely astounding what will happen. And just the way that I feel, even talking about it just makes me feel so great. And then the end result, like I just went in and with my daughter this last week and redid her bedroom. And my daughter was sexually assaulted 2 months ago and has not felt safe. She's 35 years old. She hasn't felt safe. And I went in and totally redid her whole bedroom, including painting the ceiling. And her room, when you walk into it now, feels so safe and warm. And that's the gift of, because I really appreciated what's been said today about, helping. Shelley touched on this about helping other people, and that there's a satisfaction that comes from when I use my talents, and it can really evoke good feelings in other people, and that it just makes me feel good.
Yeah, and nobody does it like you do. Yeah, thank you, Holly. All right, I'm gonna unmute you, Shelley. There you go.
So for me, it was instantly obvious. I have been writing since about fifth grade, and I first got published in high school, and I've been published many, many, many times since then. It is my favorite thing to do. If I could just be a full-time writer, that's what I've always thought. But, you know, now adding to it the in-person part of motivating and inspiring people. But writing is definitely my passion. And the things about it that I love are that I'm confident in my ability, and I enjoy not only the process of it, but the results just thrill me at the end when I'm like, that is music to my ears, and it makes me so happy.
Yay! Yes, we need writers. Yes. Okay, thank you, ladies. I'm going to mute you, Shelley. Just put it back here. Okay. Okay. So let's finalize what we have learned in this webinar about our talents. The Greek coined a concept they called eudaimonia. Translated, it refers to the idea of giving your best where you have the best to give and reaping the rewards of this excellence. In other words, to feel like you are flourishing. Isn't that what all of us want for our lives? So let's just take a moment now and identify what you are willing to commit in going forward in your life. So now's the time to take out worksheet number 5, standing by your talents. And we'll take the time to answer the 3 questions listed on the worksheet. So I'll set a timer for 2 minutes, and then we'll share about it for a little bit before we wrap up. Okay, ready, set, go. All right. Let's wrap it up in about 30 seconds. All right, let's come on back. I'll go ahead and share first. So just keeping with the acting. What is it that you love to do, and what talents would you say are behind this? I love to tell stories and connect. And the talents behind that are creativity, imagination, listening, communication, innovation, those sorts of things. What can you do now to live more fully from the place of your talents and therefore experience more fulfillment in your life? It's really just more of what I'm doing. I wrote down, keep going live, keep creating opportunities to tell stories. So actually this training today has helped me get more clarity about how I want to use this activity and these talents to tell stories. And what changes in your life might you have to look at so that your talents can be fully expressed? I wrote, saying no to energy suckers and non-paying, time-consuming projects. And saying yes. So I got to say no. I got to set boundaries. Is essentially what that comes down to. And do the projects that not only fulfill me creatively, but also support me financially and relationally, so that my needs are met and I can take care of myself. So that's what the changes that I might need to make is setting the boundaries and the clarity. So this has been a really powerful training for me, and I want to hear what came up for you guys. So I'm going to unmute you, Holly.
So this is going to probably be a little surprise to Wendy, what I'm going to say right now, but it's planned. But as I go through this, just when I got to the end thing, I wrote, I'm really on the ball.
Yeah.
And so I just want to use my time to talk about how powerful being involved with a life coach is. And I've been working with Wendy for, I think we're coming up on 4 years.
Yeah.
And got turned on. It was one of my neighbors who had been doing some work with her. And this is when she had just got done with school. And being involved in a life coach, with a life coach, being involved in these kinds of programs has done more to keep me focused on what it is that I want to be doing. And when I have conflicts with that, like I said something about my daughter earlier, and that there are real things that are going on with my family that can be quite distracting for me to be living the kind of life that I want to be living. So it's like to write, what changes in your life you have to look at so your talents can be fully expressed. And that is just doing this work constantly puts me back into asking these questions. Like, I am not asleep. I am here and I'm looking, and I have to just keep working at it because there's no perfection to it. But I can tell you I have become quite a dancer. If I'd been writing about dancing, where I'm at today versus where I was 2 years ago is almost like night and day. And I'm doing this in my 60s. So, surprise.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for my case study. What a wonderful testimonial. Thank you so much. All right, Shelley, anything you'd like to share?
Well, on the worksheet, what is it that you love to do and what talents are behind it? I love to inspire people, and my talents for writing and teaching are a big part of that. what can I do now to live more fully from that place is to be more focused and centered. I'm working on becoming more mindful as a practice, not just a daily, but a moment-to-moment practice that I'm really working on. And so that's also the answer to the third question is what changes might I have to look at, and that is being diligent in implementing that practice so that when I go to share with other people, I'm leading by example and not just talking about it.
Awesome. Wonderful. Okay, well, to wrap up today's training, I would like to share a few quotes with you. Use what talents you possess. The woods would be very silent if no bird sang except those that sang best. Henry Van Dyke. There is nothing worse in this world than wasted talent. Unknown. I am always grieved when a man of real talent dies, for the world needs such men much more than heaven does. That was J.C. Lichtenberg. And this is what I believe. I believe your talents make each of you unique. And now that you know how unique you are, let tomorrow be different than today. Your talents lie within you and want to be expressed. Trust them and take a stand beside them. They truly are the keys to your fulfillment. Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Shelley. Thank you, everyone who is watching the replay, for your great participation on the webinar tonight. And that's it for today. I want to thank you all for joining me, and I hope you found this information valuable. And as a reminder, when you enroll in the Thriving Angels Journey by May 11th, 3 weeks from today, for only a 47 trial month, you are receiving Riding the Dragon, 12 weeks to creative freedom, for free as part of your membership. So don't procrastinate about it. Go to thewayoflife.live/8S. And be sure to join us May 4th for our next New Moon Web Circle, where our theme will be Redefining Beauty. My body, my rules. Thanks again, everyone. Bye. Let's see if I can end the meeting. See you soon. Bye, everyone.